watching a video this morning. And these cops in Towson were out there doing this they were out there doing this I don't know what you want to call it, police action outside of some pubs or something one night. And part of it, I think, that was the most offensive, and you're welcome to watch it. It's only 2.5 minutes. It's up on our Facebook page, YouTube page. It's up on our web address at americasvoicenow.org. It's up on Patriot FB. And this kid was filming these cops as they were arresting, you know, and they had all these people in handcuffs. And this cop, I mean, was really off the chain with this kid. He was screaming at this kid, "You have no right." The kid was saying, "Oh, I have the right to film you," you know, and he's right. There's a Supreme Court case that says it's acceptable for police to be videotaped in the performance of their public duty, right? And, you know, these cops will say, that's not true, or I didn't know that. That's bunk. If you don't know what the current law is, then maybe you ought to check whether or not you should be a cop. You can pretend ignorance, but it doesn't mean you are ignorant of it. In fact, truthfully, America should demand that every law enforcement officer sign off on a little waiver slip that says, I, comma, blank, fill in the name, police officer Joe Jones, do hereby acknowledge that the Supreme Court states that I may be photographed and videoed during the performance of my duty. But the point here is that, I mean, these cops were off the chain with these kids. This cop was, and I'll play you his actual words himself when he goes off the mark here, because this guy is like nuts. He's screaming at these kids, and here he comes. Here's one of them. There's about 4 of them that act like this, but this one's, you know.
I'm allowed to do this. I'm allowed to do this. Get out of my face. I have my rights. I'm allowed to do this.
Now, the cop walks up to this kid, and he walks about 15 paces to get to him, or 15 feet, excuse me, to get to him. And the kid's holding a camera. He says, I'm allowed to have this. I'm allowed to have this. And the cop walks up to him and says, then get out of my face. Well, the cop walked to him, separated by, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 feet. How is that being in the face of the cop? You see, here's the problem, folks. Their blood was up. You ever hear that phrase before? Well, when men are in battle and their blood is up, terrible things happen because people get carried away. It's what used to be known as raping and pillaging, because men's blood was up. We live in a society where everyone is expected to be nonviolent. We've been taught that all of our lives. Don't solve it with violence. Talk it out. Try to resolve it without confrontation. For those of you that are just coming to awareness, you got to realize that that is a propagandic lie you've been told all your life. How dare I make such a radical statement? Well, let's face it. Humanity is a violent group. Despite the oft-quoted Miss America, world peace is never going to happen. We're a violent group. We always have been, and we always will be. And you cannot sit there, and I don't care how much mind-bending and mind-altering manipulation you attempt. You cannot get violence out of people. And when you do, suppress the immediate response to a violent confrontation by giving one person the authority and power of a weapon over the other person who has been indoctrinated into the principle that you are to cower before authority. You have bullies. You have individuals that are drunk with their authority, their power, and their physical ability to subdue whomever they perceive to be their opponent. And when their blood is up, everyone is their opponent. It is us versus them. That's the mentality that law enforcement has. It's trained into them like violence and confrontation are being trained out of you. And what you have is this. You're being told, never be confrontational, always do as you're told. They're being told, if anyone questions your authority, crush them. Want proof? I'm going to let you hear it for yourself. This cop actually screams at this guy. I wish I had the transcript of this. I had it earlier and now it's gone. I had a computer. Here comes another one.
You're hindering me. I'm allowed to film. I have my rights. I'm allowed to film.
Then get the hell out of here.
Man,
leave.
I haven't done anything wrong.
You diverted my attention from that. Leave.
I have not.
You diverted my attention. That's what he's done wrong. He diverted the cop's attention from an arrest by standing on the side, videoing with a phone the activity. The kid didn't say anything. He wasn't making catcalls out to them screaming, "Stop!" How is he diverting his attention? I want to know.
Done nothing. Whoa, sir. Sir, come on. Whoa.
Now they're dragging him off.
Walk away.
I'm doing nothing.
Now they're telling him he's got to leave.
All right. I have done nothing wrong here.
He said leave.
I have done nothing wrong here. All right. Well, okay. Have I done something wrong? All right. What am I doing?
Look at me.
I'm sorry.
Look at me. Do you see the police?
Okay, here comes this is the main perpetrator, this guy. And this guy's off the mark. It starts at the 1 minute mark. And this cat is only 2 minutes, the whole thing. This cat is so off the chain. Listen to the anger in his voice. You see, here's the real problem, folks. This isn't the fact that the kid was videotaping. This is the fact that the kid had the unmitigated gall to refuse by his belligerent act, which was his refusal to do as he was told. Not because that's the law, because this guy said so.
I'm sorry.
Look at me. Do you see the police presence here?
Yes.
Do you see us all? We're not fucking around. Do you understand?
Am I interfering?
Do not disrespect us.
I'm not.
And do not listen to us.
See, do not disrespect us and do not listen to us. Okay. First of all, how you are standing there monitoring or videotaping does not mean you're disrespecting anyone. Observing. I'm sure the kid's a punk. And maybe he acted like a punk. But the point is that this guy is what he's really saying is, you're defying me. Do not do what we tell you to do. Where we are making a major mistake in the United States of America is, one, allowing this to continue. Number two, training these men with a mission that says your word is law, irrespective of whether it's objective or subjective, and that at any given moment, you are the power. That is going to backfire on this nation. I'm here to tell you, and I guarantee you it will. You see, these police officers now believe that they are the power and the authority. And it's a dangerous game that our nation is playing, because what it's really saying is the rule of law does not exist. What matters now is that you're following my directions right this second. And that's subjective, which is contrary to the rule of law.
Now walk away and shut your fucking mouth.
I'm sorry. I'm going to have to go in afterwards and edit these pieces out, so just stick with me.
Going to jail. Do you understand?
So he says, do what I tell you to do or you're going to jail.
Shut your fucking mouth or you're going to jail. Do you understand?
I'm walking.
Walk.
All right, so here's where the kid makes a mistake. He sends, and he's stupid. He opens his mouth one more time. But you see, there's no crime in what he's doing. What we've got is a cop whose blood is up.
Have I committed a crime, sir? Whoa.
Here he comes again.
You want to go?
Now the cop storms back 15 feet.
No, I do not. Wow, man, dude. I have done nothing here.
Don't open your mouth.
I thought I have freedom of speech here.
You don't. You've just lost it.
Okay. I thought.
Walk away and
I'm
keep
sorry.
your mouth shut.
Wow, man, you're pushing me for no reason here.
You good, man?
Did you hear that? You don't have any rights. This cop is belligerent, arrogant, and quite frankly,
You've just lost
out
it.
of control.
Okay. I thought I have freedom of speech here.
You don't. You've just lost it.
Okay.
You see, you've just lost your freedom of speech because I said so. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is inexcusable, because that's not how we work. See, no matter how angry you get at a situation, it doesn't mean that you get to invade the rights of someone else. Just because the guy in front of you is driving like an idiot, way below the speed limit and slowing down traffic, doesn't give you a right to go into a road rage, does it? And it doesn't give you a right to insist or demand that he do your bidding, your will. And just because you're wearing a badge doesn't give you suddenly that right. The truth is, these cops, whatever they were arresting these other people for in the street, quite frankly, they should have just continued what they were doing. But you see, now they've subdued the primary people that they're after, and they are pumped. And so they want to continue to brawl. And they're swollen with their own power because, quite frankly, they know now that they've got this badge and gun and uniform on that completely separate them from the law. The truth is, we've entered very, very, very dangerous ground here. And our nation is now under threat from those who have sworn to protect and serve. I get emails from cops who say, you know, you're too hard on the cops. There's good cops out there, and I know there are. But you see, it's up to you, as one of the good ones, to police the bad ones. And this behavior was unacceptable no matter what. See, the truth is, I'm just going to give you this example. Let's take a church. And these people are strong advocates of the elimination of abortion and abortion clinics. And they go out there and they've got somebody who's acting dangerously towards abortion doctors. If you know who that person is and they're within your church organization, you have an obligation to stand up and say, that behavior and activity, which I know is happening, has got to be stopped. Morally, ethically, it's wrong. Legally, it's wrong. And if I know that it's occurring, I have an obligation to stop it and bring it to a halt. Even if that means that I have to tell someone else in authority that this person has been going out and beating a doctor up because he doesn't like the fact that he does abortions. If you are a member of a mosque, and there is a radical component within your group who states that killing innocents to make a political point is an acceptable solution. Is that any different? Do you not have an obligation, do we not have an obligation to police ourselves? We do. I've heard police say to me, you know, if these Muslims who say that Islam isn't a violent religion would do something about the violent aspect of their religious group, we wouldn't have these problems. Well, I'm going to turn this right around on you and say, if you're a police officer and you're not cleaning up your own house, then you've got no business talking about anybody else's. See, the truth is, if you're one of these and your behavior is like this, or one of your guys is behaving like this, then you can bet when they're not in front of you, their behavior is exactly like this and maybe considerably worse. Your job is to protect and defend. Not them. Us. From them. Even when they're heckled. I mean, look, you don't see a politician jump off the stage when somebody heckles them and give them a black eye, do you? You think that person would get elected? You see, I would expect a pastor of a church who knows that he's got a member of his congregation that is going out there and blowing up abortion clinics to act the same way I would expect an imam who knows that one of his parishioners is going out plotting a terrorist act that's going to blow up a bomb in a restaurant full of innocent people who don't even know what the heck is happening. or what he's thinking or why. And I would expect a cop who knows that there's another cop out there who acts like this, not once, that's one thing, but when they act like this routinely, then you have an obligation to cease that activity and that behavior. And if you fail in that, then you failed in your oath to us. You failed in your oath to your community. And you're a problem. You're not the solution to the problem. Now, granted, this cop didn't pull out a billy stick and beat this kid senseless. I guarantee you he wanted to. And when you watch the video, you'll know why. But there are a lot of incidences lately, and you're seeing them over and over. The rise of police violence against civilians has become, ladies and gentlemen, epidemic. Why does that matter? Because they've taken an oath to protect and serve, not beat and pummel. Are there good cops out there? You betcha. Here's the real question. If you're one of them, are you good enough to lean out the ranks of the monsters within your organization? You see, you have that same duty that you would demand and expect of anyone else, including the pastor, including the imam, including the father who knows his son is dangerous. You would say to him, you had an obligation to protect and defend the community because you knew your son was a predator. And I say the same thing to you. You have an obligation to defend and protect the community because you know your brother in blue is a predator. So until you do that, you can't find fault with me pointing it out. And that is a fact. You've been listening to America's Voice Now. My name is Michael Evans. If you've found any value whatsoever in any of these episodes today, please share them with friends via an email link. Sit down and watch it with one, and then have a discussion afterwards about it. See if you all don't get something out of it. Even if you think I'm wrong, use this to open up the lines of discussion. You may be surprised at what you find out. The true mark of a critical thinker is to look at all things, those they agree with and those they don't, and then formulate an opinion. Only when all of the information has been gathered, even when it challenges your own bias. I have them, you have them, we all do. Saying or pretending otherwise would be being less than honest. So the question is, if you find this of any value, will you share it with someone else? If not this one, maybe it was an earlier episode. Use it as a way to open up the conversation, the topic. Okay. You've been listening to America's Voice Now. You can find us on the web by going to americasvoicenow.org. You can find us on Facebook by going to facebook.com/America's Voice Now. I ask you to hit the like button. You can find us by going to youtube.com/America's Voice Now and catch all of our programs. You can also watch them directly on our website at americasvoicenow.org. You can email me at mike@americasvoicenow.org. And I'd also like very much for you to visit our friends over at Patriot FB. And there you can catch this program live in an audio format, shortly or soon a video format. And you'll be able to interact with a lot of other folks that have patriotic spirit, intent, and motive. So, God bless you. Tomorrow was another day. I encourage you to please think about the things that you see and happening around you, and try to determine where you can actually make a difference. Have a great day. You've been listening to America's Voice Now.